guys, it's Lucy, and today I'm going to be doing a video on my 2017 bookish stats and a review of the goals that I set for 2017 and whether or not I accomplished them. This is a video where I talk about all the statistics from the past year as well as go over the goals that I set last year and figure out if I accomplished them or not. Spoiler alert, I did not accomplish all my goals. I get all the statistics from a spreadsheet that was originally created by the channel's Let's Read. It's a great spreadsheet. I think he's doing another one for 2018, which I will once again be using because I love this spreadsheet. I've been using it for 2 years now. First, let's talk about my goals for 2017 and the ones that I did and did not accomplish. So first, let's talk about the goals that I did complete, and the first one would be my Goodreads challenge, which is like the number of books I try to read in a year, and my challenge was set at 65 books, and I completed that and then some. I originally had 65 and then I completed 65 in September, I want to say, and then I raised it to 70, completed that, and then I raised it to 75 maybe, but I ended up reading 81 books this year, which is definitely way more than I thought I was going to. I also completed my challenge to finish 5 series. I managed to complete 8 series, so I'm super happy with that as well. Probably started too many series this year, honestly, but it's fine. I'll work on it next year. And the last challenge that I managed to complete was to read 12 diverse books. Looking at my statistics, about 60% of the books that I read did contain some form of diversity, so that translates to about 48 books that I read this year had some kind of diversity attached to it, so I definitely blew that challenge out of the water. Now onto the challenges that I did not complete. First, we have one specifically for my booktube channel. I wanted to do one review a month. That definitely didn't happen. I did 3 reviews this whole year. The next challenge I didn't complete was to read 6 classics. I managed to read 5, so I was really that close. I was really close last year too. Maybe 1 year I'll make it. I also had a challenge of reading 12 books by Black authors, and I did not complete that, which I'm kind of disappointed in myself by. I should have made more of an effort. I was like on track halfway there. Oh, I did do a mid-year stats video. In case you're interested, it'll be linked down below. But in that video, I was on track. So I had read 6 books in 6 months. And then after that, I don't know if I fell off the wagon. I kind of forgot I was doing this challenge until it was too late. So I managed to read 10 books next year. I feel confident that I will get to 12. I feel like it's such a bare minimum number that I feel bad that I didn't. And last but not least, I had a goal to reread 6 books, and I reread 5, and 4 of them were the first 4 books in a series of unfortunate events. So, don't know what that says. Oh my god, wait. That was a lie. Actually, I did complete that challenge. I just realized literally as I was filming this video, because I remembered that I reread Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets over the summer, and for some reason, I guess in the spreadsheet, I didn't count it as a reread, which it definitely was. So I did reread 6 books, so that ended on a happy note. And now Goodreads also gives you like a smidgen of statistics. So I'm just going to share with you what Goodreads told me. So first, I read a total of 25,067 pages this year. The shortest book that I read this year was 109 pages, and that was Destroy Me by Tara Mafi. And the longest book that I read this year, which is a book I just finished reading, was Winter by Marissa Meyer, and that was 827 pages. The most popular book that I read was 1984 by George Orwell, which was a reread for me. 3,149,086 people read that last year. And the least popular book that I read was Static Shock Volume 1 Supercharged, which it was the DC New 52 reboot of Static Shock, and 481 people read that this year. And Goodreads says my average rating for 2017 was 3.9. Since Goodreads doesn't do half stars, this rating is a little bit off. The one in my spreadsheet will probably be a little bit lower. So now let's get into the statistics from my spreadsheet. I am shifted over to the left, hopefully enough. Hopefully to my left, your right, I guess, there will be some pie charts and other fun graphics next to me to exemplify the statistics I'm about to share with you. First, let's talk about genre. I read 13 science fiction books, 20 fantasy books, 17 contemporary books, 2 mystery, 5 classics, which I talked about, 2 literary fiction books, 2 non-fiction books, 5 memoirs, 6 dystopian, and 4 gothic books, which is what I counted a series of unfortunate events books because I didn't really know what they were. 1 steampunk, and 1 poetry book. I DNF'd 1 book, couldn't tell you what it was. I actually DNF'd more than 1, I think that's inaccurate. And the total number of books I read minus graphic novels was 66, so I actually completed my original goal without graphic novels, which was a side goal I wanted to do, so I'm really happy about that as well. According to the spreadsheet, the total number of pages I read was 25,114, which is slightly more than what Goodreads told me. I'm not sure why that is. I take the page count straight from Goodreads, so I'm not sure why that is. But basically this averages to 310 pages per book. I read 44 physical books and 37 digital books. So digital books are both ebooks and audiobooks. I listened to 174 hours of audiobooks. Actual listen time is around 96.7 hours, which is still like a lot of hours. That's like 4 days of listening to audiobooks, right? To go deeper into formats, I read 15 graphic novels, 15 hardcover books, 12 trade paperbacks, 1 mass market paperback, I don't know which one that was, 19 ebooks, 2 ARCs, and 17 audiobooks. So most of my reading was ebooks and audiobooks, which is I expected because those are the most portable forms of reading for me. For age group, I read 31 adult novels, 45 YA novels, and 5 middle grade. 4 of the middle grade was A Series of Unfortunate Events. I don't know what the last one was. I'm pretty surprised that I read so many adult books, but that did include all the graphic novels I read because most of them are marketed towards adults. 38% of my reading was adult books, which I'm growing up, kids. I'm kidding. For the status of my books, or like how I acquired the books, 16 of them were new, like I bought them at some point. 3 of them were gifts. 6 of them were free, which are the LibriVox books that I read. 55 of them came from the library, which is pretty crazy. And I had 1 ARC. For the gender of the protagonists of my books, we have 10 male protagonists, 51 female protagonists, which is 100% expected. I do prefer female protagonists to male ones. 20 of them were ensemble, which in this case means that they were both male and female. For the page length of the books that I read, 24 of them were between 100 and 199 pages. 14 of them were between 200 and 299 pages. 22 of them were between 300 and 399 pages. 12 of them were between 400 and 499 pages. 7 of them were between 500 and 599 pages, which is a surprise. I did not realize I read so many books that large. 1 was 600 to 699 pages, which I think was probably Gemini. And 1 was between 800 and 899 pages, which was definitely Winter. For the year the books were published, I read 4 books from before the 1920s, 1 from the 1940s, 1 from the 1970s, 5 from the 90s, 3 from the early 2000s, and then 55 were from between 2010 and 2016, and 12 were from 2017. Wow, 12? I did not realize I'd read so many new releases. For author gender, I read 22 books by male authors and 57 books by female authors. 2 books were written by both. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should work towards changing this just because I want to get it to maybe not 50-50, but like at least 60-40, closer to that. For the country the authors are from, 75 of the books had authors from the United States, 1 was from Canada, 3 were from the UK, and 1 was from Nigeria, and 1 was from South Africa. Nigeria was Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, because I read Americana this year. The South African author was Trevor Noah. As for like the diversity of the books, first let's talk about the author race, and then I'll talk about general diversity, I guess. For author race, I already talked about this. I read 10 books by Black authors. 65 of the books that I read were by white authors, which I am looking to change next year. 2 books were by East Asian authors. 1 book was by a South Asian author, 1 was by a Latinx author, 2 were by Middle Eastern authors. And as for diversity, 21 of the books featured like racial diversity, 7 featured sexuality diversity, so they featured someone on the LGBTQIA+ spectrum, 2 books featured mental illnesses, 1 featured a disability, 13 were combo, which means they featured any of the above. 5 were author only, which I think I talked about a little bit earlier, but basically that the author had some kind of diverse aspect, whether they were another race, had some kind of chronic illness or mental illness that they did not write about in their book, but they're open about that part of their lives. We have star ratings. I gave 3 books 5 stars. I gave 6 books 4.5 stars. Really, I felt like it was more. 48 books 4 stars, 18 books 3.5 stars, and 6 books 3 stars, and I gave no books below 3 stars this year. My average rating for the year was 3.89, which is not actually that much lower than the one Goodreads told me. But yeah, I'm really glad I didn't read any books below 3 stars this year. I'm really surprised I only read 3 books that were 5 stars this year. I started 10 series this year, continued on in 20, and completed 9. Oh, is it 9? I guess there were 9. And of the books that I read, 39 were part of a series and 33 were standalones, which is once again baffling to me because I do tend to gravitate towards standalones. 65 of the books that I read were novels, 1 was a novella, 1 was a novelette, and 14 were graphic reads, which is a different number than I read before. I'm pretty sure. I don't know what's going on with that. I managed to average 6.8 books per month and 2,093 pages per month, 69 pages per day. And it took me about 4 days per book on average. And the month that I read the most was July, which I expect because that's right in the middle of my summer vacation. And I actually expected a little less, but that's also when I took part in the Booktubeathon, and I think I took part in another readathon during July as well. So that explains a giant bump. I read 4,005 pages during that month and 17 books. Wow, 17? My second most month was January, where I read 14 books and 3,404 pages, which again, I was off from school, so I just had more time. Those are all the statistics I have to share with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any opinions about any of the statistics I just shared, or any of the goals that I accomplished / didn't accomplish in 2017, please leave a comment down below. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel because I am doing the 12 Days of Lucie Reads, which is a series where I post a video every day until the new year. So again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!